Hello and welcome. Today I'd like to share with you Makarasana, or Crocodile Pose as it's known in the yogic world. This is a very basic prone position, a position of lying on our bellies. It is a very restorative position. It is a position that helps us to connect with our breath and to strengthen our diaphragmatic breathing. When we lay on our bellies, we can feel our belly, we can feel our chest press into the ground with each inhale, and through that we may practice breathing into our bellies, practice breathing into our chest. Crocodile pose is good for low back pain. It can help relieve some low back tension, particularly in the sacrum area. And crocodile pose is good for the second chakra. The crocodile is the ruler of the second chakra, the water chakra, the chakra of our creativity and much of our emotion and our sexual energy. This lives at our pubic bone, and in this pose we can feel our pubic bone in connection with the earth. So let me demonstrate it for you, and hopefully with this space it's a little tight, and Kira's probably gonna be in my way. But so we are going to come onto our bellies. If you have external genitalia, you may want to move it aside. I typically like to have it pointing towards my feet just so that I can feel my pubic bone resting on the ground. We'll come onto our bellies. We want our feet to be a little bit wider than our hips. And for our low back, we'll have our toes point towards each other and our heels sort of fall out away from each other, away from the body. And this is what's going to sort of open up this low back, allow this low back to release, is having the toes point in and the heels point out. With the upper body, you'll bring your arms out in front of you. You can bring the elbows as wide, and then you'll allow the forehead to rest either on the hands, on the forearms. You can use a pillow or a bolster, depending on what I have going on. And even as I sit in the position, often I'll move the position of my head. So you can rest it on my hands. I can rest it on my forearms. And sometimes I'll even rest it on my chin. I'll imagine I'm a crocodile sort of laying in the water, and I will look forward. And this can be a nice stretch for the front of the neck. If you do this, make sure you're not clenching your jaw too tightly, or if you are clenching your jaw, just be aware of it. Sometimes my jaw does like to close tightly, and I don't always think it's a bad thing, but it's something to be aware of, as it should be a bit easier in the long run as you process things out and become more easy, as your physical reality becomes a bit easier. And in this position, you just breathe. So you just feel your belly press into the ground as you breathe. You can focus on this breath. This position, this chakra, this crocodile, is going to return us to a more primitive state. This is a very deep state, a state where we don't necessarily do a lot other than breathe. And so, just by sitting with the breath, is where you'll start to see things start to change in this position. The other thing of note in this position is, so toes pointing towards each other, heels falling apart, I think is good for the low back. Opposite, having the heels sort of point in and the toes point out, is, I think, really good for connecting to some of the inner thighs, and it puts a little bit more pressure on the pubic bone. And so I will sometimes do this to change where I'm feeling pressure. If I'm not looking to relieve tension in my low back, I think oftentimes it feels nice to feel this earth on my pubic bone, on my inner thighs, to help me connect to this second chakra energy. And so that's Makarasana. You'll stay in that pose for as long as feels good. Start with 5-10 breaths, work up maybe to 5 or 10 minutes. Connect with your breath, connect with your water element, connect with your second chakra. Let me know how you find this. Explore this. Take care of yourself, and I'll be seeing you.